Just trying to sort out my main computer. Be with you as soon as I can. Evening, artists. I'm just as you can probably see. The interweb's gone incredibly slow for some reason. On my main PC. I don't know what it's doing at the moment. Sorry about this, guys. Strange. Oh. Well. Here we go. Paint the bottom. Sorry about this, fellas, ladies. All right, let's see our camera's right in the right place. I think so. What isn't in the right place is the interweb on my computer. You just chat amongst yourselves for a minute while I. Oop. I click away on the big computer, as you see that I'm doing mousy stuff. I can see you. It says it's connected and secured. Oh dear. Thanks, Ben. Keep it going, mate. I'm going to throw the computer out the window in a minute. Do you reckon that'll help? Look, I think my phone's gone onto its own Wi-Fi. Now it's buzzing and everything. I'd be pottering around with my models if my computer bloody worked. Where's IT department when you need it? That's no good. I'm going to have to switch the whole lot off. Ah. Right, that's shutting off and up again. So I've usually switched the computer on way in advance. Never have any problems. So I didn't bother. That was mere folly. Right, why the computer's starting back up. Tonight, when I finally get a brush in my hand, we're going to be doing Jugula Familia set 2. Which this chap, the scissor, and you've got the Sagittarius. We've got another dog's needs rebooting. No, it doesn't need booting. The Macarius. And the Provocateur. All it is, guys, when you chat, it flashes up on my screen at the moment and disappears, so I can't actually keep up with what you guys are saying. Now the dog is snoring. Oh dear. Oh well. I'll have to just crash on and hopefully it will sort itself out. Or not. Right, okay. Whilst that's starting, let's start with the flesh tones. So I'm going to start with Moonstone Skin. Load up with some good old matte medium. I got no what's going on over there. Medium. The dog is deep in snore land. Yeah, so I'm not ignoring you if you're messaging. I just can't see it on my screen at the moment. Let's see what happens in a bit. If I disappear completely, means that the internet's gone completely, and I'll just end up sitting there painting, chatting to myself. Which is nothing new, really. There we go. There we go. What an exciting start. The dog is proper snoring. So the way forward was to actually take him out at a different time on a Friday and see if I could run him out so he snored all through the painting. A bit of a weird off reading the rules, it sort of said that it's only mentioned a couple of times in, so they're not sure if it actually existed or not. I think that was this one. I may be wrong. I think that's the case of a couple of them as well. There's the big guy that's in the third one. It's only mentioned in passing, I think, and in the film. As I said, this isn't really I saw that one. I think what it was, when I got up an hour early this morning, he went out an hour early, so he wanted to go for his walk this afternoon an hour early. So yeah. I want to ask you guys some questions, but I can't. I'm hoping the computer thing is going to sort itself out in a minute. Yeah, as you can see, I've done the usual undercoat on these. I've done the usual Xenophil one, and I've put the pumice on the bases. To save some time, I painted the pumice with some speed paint 2 sand. I think it's called phantom sand or something, ghost sand, or howling sand. I was thinking of banshee kind of thing. Yeah, I think something's happening over there. It's going to go then. Oh, come on, computer. That's a good job there. Just lay down the flesh. I was looking at this one earlier and I thought it'd make a really good miniature for like a bronze or like a metal statue. You know what I mean? D&D golem. Ah, right. It's loaded up the chat. Pottering. Yeah, it certainly does, cubes. I'm so lazy, I'll even turn Cubicon into an abbreviation. Seems to have loaded the chat, but not the... stream. Oh, there we go. Hmm. Come on, computer. I don't know. Yeah, it does pay twice to anything, doesn't it? It makes it really hard to get somebody to take offence, then, doesn't it? I know. It seems to, I wouldn't say too much, but it does appear. I tell you what, my internet started working and then Rich appears. I'm not, I'm not casting dispersions on your character, but literally, as Rich turned, it's like Rich is my IT support. You've just fixed my computer, Rich. Thanks, mate. He's got brown skin, so we're gonna start off with carnelian skin. Well, I think your talent was short-lived. That makes it seem to have buffered again. Hey. Yeah, so good evening, everyone. Now I can see you, the chat at least. I'm only half an hour in. This is our second set of gladiators. So you're right, so once these are painted, technically, I can have a game with these very minis. Which is pretty neato. Yeah, I think the ship's wench is downstairs. She's probably got her phone on, and I can hear her talking to her daughter now, so that's probably on the Kindle, but it's quite a low bar, but it all seems to be touch wood. Run again off. So we've had, what's everyone been doing this week? You've done that without me, thank you, Ben. And Coops for filling in there. Yeah, I was thinking about taking my phone onto its own Wi-Fi, but it would do that if it loses signal anyway. So, but I thought I don't want to muck around with the actual feed itself. So I'll just carry on painting. Nice. What articles about Ben? Or is it top secret? Nice. 4 hours. Which part of Wales was you in? Hmm. Good work, Ben. Ah. Yeah, we used to go to Pembrokeshire down there. It's then Saundersfoot. Nice. Ah, that's where Churchill planned the D-Day landings, wasn't it? Well, one of the can't remember what beach it was. I did read it all when I was down there. You got that little cafe on the right on the corner, haven't you? Let's see. I'm just going to go over the flesh base again. And I don't usually, but I want to check it because I wasn't particularly 100% focused when we first switched on. Drop some flesh into the eye. Aisles. Yeah, get the question there, cubes. I like that one. Yeah, it did look very busy. I saw a couple of the traders I know there that I met. A couple of guys from Exeter showing. Went to the expo. Ah, that's nice, mate. Bloody hell, better would if the aircon was out. I know earlier in the year somebody said I was going to do that, and I tend to do better at quiet shows, I think. People look at a bit more time to look at my stall. Okay, so he's got like all golden armor on. He's coloured as well. Oh, that's a red. Looks like a leather helmet, doesn't it? Should really follow the card. So we change his. Let's just go over the top. Let's use that original flesh tone as a undercoat. If I'd like to use the cards as a painting guide. You'll love it, mate. You will absolutely love it. So yeah. There we go. Back to the cards. Nice. Let's start with this guy. He's got all silver armor. So we'll start with gunmetal. Yes, I must have had a full commission. I had to paint some Russian airborne, modern airborne force. So they're all done up now. It took ages to get all the green balances right to what I wanted, because they're different in every photograph that you find. It's a kind of a mismatch of a few. What else did we do? Oh yeah, we did some elves as well. Did some of these bad boys. A couple of other. What was the other ones we did this week? Some more 2000 AD stuff. God blimey. It's been a busy week. I've forgotten there was something else as well. Oh well. I'm sure I'll remember if it's important. So this is the gunmetal silver. Finally got our booking confirmed for the Reading show at Farnborough. Which was good in as well. So no, after a busy week. So what I'll try and do is get the jugula arena out. Brush up on my gladiator skills. And do a battle report for you. You see these bad boys scrapping it out in the ring. Well, you know what I mean. Arena. I had a sneaky day off and played Dead Man's Hand, as you do when you have a sneaky day off, that is. Yeah, it's kind of weird. It's not played for a while, and we've not used the new rulebook. That's how long we've not paid for. We bought it, but not used it. I didn't want to do the thing that I did with Saga and that's definitely leather on that picture, isn't it? Weird. We'll do bronze, I think. The dog's chewing his foot, which is doing his large slavering troll impression. Yeah. It's weird, isn't it? We'll play around with a We'll play around with some different colours on it, see what we can do. So I do the chainmail in the silver, and then I do the rest in bronzy colour. Yeah. Okay, make sure we keep adding a bit of medium into that. Not too much. To keep that brush moist. Remember, this is the older brush without a point on it, because it's about the worst thing you can do to a brush is stipple metallic paint into chainmail. If you wanted to, there's a few more ways to make it worse. I suppose you could put a stipple a wash into a metallic wash. Speed paint. I should imagine that would do it. If you stippled metallic speed paint into chainmail, would go slightly, would kill it a little bit more. Ways to kill your brushes. As you see, it's really finishing off this poor fella. Somebody's caught a bumblebee in a jam jar. There we go. And the rest is bronzy leather. And this one's, it's not got the chainmail on the picture, so let's do the chainmail in. Yeah, I don't think the pictures are exact science. I think they're just more of a guideline than a rule. As a pyro, I'm kind of used to that. I'm glad that we've reached a quorum of it. It's nice. There we go. So next we grab the Crusader skin. Now, no, never tried this on the brown, so we'll have a look. If not, there's a dark skin shade which might work a bit better. Oh no, that's going to work fine. We'll go straight on with the Crusader skin. Dog's woken up now and is now snorkeling at his bone. That's the dog deciding. Yeah, I think he's decided to throw his bed around. He's got one of those beds that's especially cool in the summer. They're like a camp bed for dog thing. But he's worked out you can pick it up and throw it in the air. Oh God, was he licking one of the... It does sound horrible. Yeah. I managed to stop him chewing one of the legs off earlier, which is quite good, I suppose. So he's lifting it up off his nose and throwing it. Yeah, that's the theory. I was hoping he'd be tired enough to sleep through the whole paint session tonight. Hey ho. Yeah, so yeah, my loving for these juggler miniatures continues. What else? Yeah, I was teaching back to Dead Man's Hand. When you're teaching someone to play a game, you kind of try and go a bit easy on them. Blah blah blah. I don't like to give someone the game, but you know you're kind of a bit more forgiving and what have you. But when somebody runs straight towards one of your guys holding a shotgun, what else can you do apart from blow their head off? And that's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it. Yeah, if you're going to take yourself out of the gene pool, that's a pretty good way of doing it, isn't it? I must go. I think I'm due to visit the Beastie Boys next week, so I'll try and see about getting some more projects to get started on. Interesting stuff they've got kicking about. Alright, let's see what. There's rough iron. We could do rough iron and then put like a red copper over the top of it or something like that. We could just see what the red copper's going to come out like. Let's see, because it's one of those ones I've often got out and thought, yeah, I like that, and then no, I don't think it's going to work as red copper. I was going to put red copper and then put a wash over it. What we're going to do, we're going to play around with some of these metallics. I'm going to start with rough iron, I think. Evil chrome, that's too light. Death metal is a fun colour, we'll have that out. Oh, true brass, that's good. If you can't have a play on a Friday night, when can you? So I'm going to go with rough iron. It's very dark, this one. So I'm sorry to overrule you guys. I'm going to muck around and find some interesting metallic looks. I was thinking about putting this on, and I'm thinking about giving it like a maybe that red copper. Use it as like a highlighter, dry brush over the top a little bit. Yeah. It's going to make him look different anyway, that's for sure. As with the other metallics, it's quite thick, so I'm going to just add a bit of medium to my brush. Yeah, let's be careful thinning this one because even though it's quite dry, its pigment load seems to be struggling to stay together. That's the thing about these gladiators, I think, is take a few liberties with them. The game you just got to tell which one's which. So you want to look different. You're certainly going to look different. That's for sure. There we go. So rough iron on. Do its belt in it as well, shall we? Okay. I think these are good. These should really go on the electric shaker because these ones don't get used very much. So my phone seems to be changing the focus everywhere as well. True brass. To be honest, I've had mixed results for this. That's why it's always worth getting out and playing around with them. It's not shaking up anything. Kind of like it, it's ever so light. So I might have to put a wash of something and highlight it with gold or something. Let's stick with it. Let's stick with it. Perhaps that's quite hard to see on camera because it is very light. Yeah, it's going to be interesting finding a good way to use this. Oh dear. Wow, I don't know what it was, some kind of electric bike or something. Yeah, we're gonna have to put some wash on this, and then re-highlight it out, I think, with maybe some gold. Should be interesting. It's that light. I'm not sure it'll even show up under this light on the camera. That is well bright. We do, as painters, get stuck in our ways. Or I'm going to paint metal this particular way. I'm going to paint it this sort of way. So it's every so often, it's good to break the mold. I'm giving the emergency. No, that is. It says true brass, and I think, in fairness, it is. Right, let's see what else we've not used. Let's give the dog a treat jumbo thing to see if we can. Give him a jumbo, which does mean that in about 10 minutes he's going to go ballistic because he's eating all that junk. Right, I've got evil chrome. She's very, very shiny, so that's not going to help us. There's a green. There's a weapon bronze. Let's have a look at that. Yes. Let's get them all out. Mithril, cobalt, silver. See, tainted gold. That was the one I was looking for. I bought the metallic set as well. They're very good. I should have gone tainted gold first, and then put the brass as a highlight. let's put some on there to see how. Yeah, so that would have worked better. So I'm just going to tone it down a bit. This is Tainted Gold, opposed to Tainted Love. And I'm just going to I'll just give him a jumbo. He'll probably get the meat in. No, he's eating at the moment. Yeah, yeah. So yeah. So I'm gonna just tone the shade down with the Tainted Gold. That works. So we're doing it opposite. We're doing the darker one. So I'm gonna leave the edges as if I've edge highlighted it. Do you know what I mean? So I'll show on the back plates. That's the high. So I'm gonna put some of the darker in there and some of the darker in there. Quite well. We just need to find a nice little wash to do some detail on. That worked really quite well. Let's see if it works well the other way around. So let's do this guy's armor. So we're going to do the Tainted Gold first. That's the thing is these, in fairness, is you can experiment on them. They're for a gladiator game called Jugula. It's not a historical piece. I was going to do his gauntlets in leather. So the Tainted Gold is actually a good one for, yeah, it's going to be a good one for the base. Let's just chuck some of that. That's highlights. Yeah, that way around works much better. Cool. So just tone that down a bit with a wash. So you use Tainted Gold and True Brass as a highlight. Let's used Rough Iron. And I'm going to use, I'm going to do True Copper, I think. Or Red Copper. Let's have a look at the Red Copper first. That's interesting. Yeah, I like that. So that's rough iron. A red copper highlight. I like that. Now we've just got to work out which washes are going to work with which colour. That'd be a challenge. Yes, that's cool. So that's rough iron with true copper works nice. And I should imagine that will work. Weapon bronze. Oh no, it was red copper I used. That's what's in the palette. Nice. Death metal is just real kind of. I'll show you. In the old set, it was proper black, metallic black, but it's not quite in the new one. It's just a really dark. And it might have been even a better. Can you see that? Really awful, messy things. So yeah, this is the death metal. See, it's kind of like a really dark. Nothing we can reuse on there. Oh well. Oh well. Okay, first up, let's get some black wash into that metal. That's the nice, easy one. That can start drying while we're messing around with the others. So let's go. We're all over the place tonight. That threw me out at the start, and I'm usually really kind of, yeah, let's do this, do this, do this. And I'm kind of gone into experimentation mode. I suppose, as Kubler says, Friday nights are for that sort of thing. I missed one of the swords, yeah. some of the black into this chainmail. Yeah, it's a bit of an odd concept in it, having a gladiator with a bow. I'm sure it was a crap poundage bow, and I bet you didn't get many arrows. Or they were shit arrows. Oh, not very good arrows. But I know in the game, once you've got the Sagittarius kind of in the square in front of you, he's pretty much done for. He's got mail armor. Wow, you can really see the difference in the. I don't really see him in the on the picture, but you can really see the difference in those two metallics now they've dried. See if they look better on the or Sagittarius. Do you guys ever see the? Oh yeah, it's much golder that way around. That's strange, isn't it? Because it made a massive difference, really. Yeah, so talking gladiators, did you ever see my feed on my computer is about 5 minutes behind. That's crazy. Okay, let's see if we can find some good. I'm thinking about actually putting a red tone into that. Let's see. They used to do a mid brown, which was really, really cool. Yeah, that's gonna look cool. Let's stay with that. It's giving us a really interesting. Maybe we can see this on the screen. This red is really working its magic on this metallic. It might mean when we put some lacquer, we might have to put some gloss lacquer on it to bring the metallic back out, but that's cool. You can do that. Okay, so now we've got to find an interesting shade to run this out, and that's not beautiful. I wondered a sepia. I could just run the sepia into the gaps, maybe thin it out a little bit. Yes. So we're going to run a sepia into some of these gaps and into some of these areas, and it's going to make it look kind of worn out, dirty and rusty and tarnished. This one is neat. That's a really cool effect. I like that. I'm going to put it all over that breastplate, and then I'm going to go back in with some medium and wash it a little bit out of the high spots. Go back in with trying to get into those grooves. I'm going to leave the high bits. And to be honest, you can. Yes, it's starting to, isn't it? Sort of. I'm trying to not just completely splatter it everywhere. I just want it more in those recesses. It's really starting to work it, but I'm not sure how much of it you're going to actually see in this light. I have to wait for the wait till the other pics come out, you know? Talking of pics. Yeah, I like that. I mean, you can just about see on camera it's starting to appreciate better on this guy's lid. do actually like their separate wash. You just got to be a bit careful with it. Can be a bit overpowering, but it's worked wonders for those. Like that. They do a rust one, which is slightly stronger. Okay, let's start with the linen. I'm going to use ancient stone. There we go. Quite enjoyed mucking around those metallics. So we tend to get stuck in a rut, don't we? Find, oh, I like that. That's how I'm going to paint all the metal. Something kind of happened to me this afternoon with those airborne Russian guys. Because you get used to painting certain fantasy style space marines and stuff. You get used to like doing camo a certain way and blah blah blah. To actually try and figure out the different camos. Took a little while, I must say. So I thought that looks more like a sleeve than an arm, so I'm going to do a blue sleeve there. I'm still using the crappy brush with no point on it because there didn't seem to be any point getting swapping over to the other one yet. Pretty bird songs as well. Okay, let's see what this guy's got. He's got blue. Let's do his arrows. The flights of his arrows. This brush is getting ugly now. Ugly. Fur, leather. Yeah. Oh, pardon moi. Just keep it going and flowing. So we've got one more pack of gladiators to do, and then we swap to something else. Ah, yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? I know in the rule book it says there's only a couple of sources that kind of mention it. I don't know how true that is. I'm sure it was these ones, but I think they said the same about the guy with all the armor on. Looks like the big guy in the film, which would be painting next week with a big helmet. Ooh, what did you find out then, Rich? Mm, nice, good knowledge, Rich. I mean, in fairness, the juggler book goes. It does a good old job of fleshing out the gladiators. You know what I mean? So we're going to go a little bit Greek on this guy, I think. So we're going to go a red. Mm. They did all sorts, didn't they? They had. It wasn't always a fight, was it? Sometimes it was a reenactment kind of thing. Because gladiators were quite expensive, weren't they? Where feeding people to lions was quite cheap because it meant you didn't have to feed your lion. Mm. It, I think it's one of those things, isn't it? That, it's very easy to sell someone the picture of a gladiator, isn't it? I mean, it's very evocative, isn't it? When you say gladiator. I just think it's amazing to think that, you know, they used to write graffiti, with their favourite gladiators, and do you know what I mean? It's just it's hard to get your head around. Hmm. Just to keep. So this was the rough iron with the red copper and red wash over the top. It's certainly giving it a real different look. I like that. I like that. One of the few rare weekends where there's no reachable show for me this weekend, I think. It's a bit strange. There's a crazy idea of gladiator. gladiatorial arenas, isn't it? Some of the animal fights there were quite crazy as well, weren't they? Yeah, let's. We were doing that when the internet first came up. We were looking for weird videos of people fighting strange stuff, like, well, not people, but you know, shark versus bear, which is kind of cool until you work out whether it's at sea or on land. But there are some. There would have been some interesting ones. Not that I condone just being nasty to animals. Absolutely not. I did read. I was reading. Yeah, I know it's a surprise. I read something, but about a giraffe, and giraffes kind of get quite vicious. And people that don't know. But if you've seen the videos of uh, giraffes fighting, they've got horns on top of their heads, and it's basically a mace. Yeah. It's, I saw it a few years ago, and then I had a look the other day, um, and there's a zoo, I think it's a Japanese zoo, and there's two giraffes going at it, and all the people are sort of trying to get the keepers to stop them. Thinking, what can I do? There's one like that with gorillas as well. These gorillas all kick off and go crazy. There's all people screaming, watching through the glass, and do something, do something. You're like what? You say we kind of base all the white with this. It's a good strong undercoat. The other thing about giraffes that I found out whilst watching. Do you remember that? I think it was a Channel 4 program years ago, and they used to do animal autopsies or something. And it was like they were sort of showing how, I think a giraffe died somewhere or something. And they their autopsy and explained how it worked and why its neck was so long and all this sort of stuff. Really, really interesting. But there's a couple of things. One of them is the neck muscles work in reverse. So yeah, so actually lifting its head up takes no muscles, and it putting its head down takes muscles. So its kind of neck is like spring loaded. Is that crazy? And they were sort of showing how much blood pressure it have to pump blood up to its head, and yeah, jaguars are crazy. They're one of the few big cats, aren't they, that kill by biting your head. Most of them crush your windpipe, but they bite in the top of your head. Good to know. My one of my friends, Brazilian friends, he he's got this great big scar on the back of his ankle where he's gone into the Amazon when he was a kid with his parents and stuff, and they'd walked past a bush and a jaguar had swiped out at his leg, tried to catch hold. He caught hold of him, but his dad managed to beat it off, beat it away, and get him away from it. But he's got this great big scar on his ankle where it clawed him. Yeah, it's quite a sizable chunk. Uh, let's go with this red. Abomination gore. Very lucky. Mm. We let a gun off or something, and it decided to let go. But it would have been, his dad sort of told him it would have been stalking him for ages, and it would have just worked out where they were going. Clever beasties. Clever girl. This abomination goes from the old range, from the army painter. What's it called? What was it called? War paints. you've got red arrows. Red arrows. Oh. we can paint over them, turn them into red arrows. If they had their funding cut or something, the red arrows. You used to see the red arrows all the time when we were kids. That's dried out really nice, his armour. I like that. Let's go for Bissell Blue. I can't believe the start tonight. It's really thrown me out, guys. Now he had a red kind of loincloth and blue the rest, but I'm just gonna hit with blue, I think, because I can. Hmm. Bit of too much blue on that metallic, and I don't want to ruin that top edge. Teach me for using this rubbish brush. I've been using the rubbish brush all night, I think. I'll swap to the one with the point on the tool. Karen would be very cross. Sort of. There we go. So next we're going to go. Oh, let's use. Use the secret weapon. Let's use the secret weapon deployed, which is our Vallejo Burnt Umber. Let's use a brush with a point on it for a bit. Hey, Why not? Take out his belt. That's cool. There goes the bee in the jam jar. Kind of sees now. Oh no. Okay, so we're gonna do leather. Pick our battles here. So instead of it being leather on him, we're going to use it as the fur. It's kind of a lot of leather on this guy. Leave us some nice, distinctive, different colours for the leather on this guy. Could have done it the other way around. Could have done the leather with this and then done a grey fur. But hey, just go what feels right. So okay, leather. About. Let's do the arrows with this brown then. And because we've done the arrows, that brown, let's do the bow as well. There we go. We're just going to paint as a lever. Yeah. Sword pommel and cross guard in this as well to establish that there's wood on these guys. Okay. And there's one with his right hand. I'm going to do the leather in that as well. There we go. Oh, right, so we're going to start that other leather with Brigadine Brown. Nope. Not on him, we're not on him. Some medium in there. This can give us a nice kind of separation between the other brown, if you know what I mean. It's gonna caught a little, missed a little bit right up against the leg greave kind of thing. There we go. Nice. You could do that leather, but we're going to do a different colour, so it's going to give us a better contrast. Keep that medium going in there. So that's what's important. Out of everything tonight, all the experimentation and the things going wrong, one of the things I keep mentioning is the use of the medium. Now, if you're not au fait with what I'm talking about, I've not said it in a few videos, is I use a matte medium, which is very similar to Lamia medium from GW, or Army Painter do a matte medium. Instar Paints do Warp Plus. I think every paint line's got a medium in it now. But I make mine up myself out of various bits and pieces. If you click through my videos and find the one on matte medium, it'll even show you how I do it. I can't get over enough to people is get yourself some matte medium. And the cheaper the better. It's better than thinning it with water. Paints hold together better. You can make washes on the fly. You can turn it into glazes. All that juicy good stuff. And just doing what I'm doing today is just adding a bit into your paint. It just means the paint just, I don't know what you see, is brown just flowing off the brush. Certain paints just love matte medium. There we go. Just laying down this Brigadine brown. Twisting the brush on the palette. Keep that point, because this brush is still got a point on it. Into the medium, into the paint. Okay. So getting to the point nearly where all the base colours are on. Let's kind of get into the, yeah, let's throw them on the table, kind of stay. On his belt, there's lots that's going to be metal, so I'm just going to check some of this brown into the gaps so I can pick the metal back out. Well, the flesh has had basically one wash over it. So it is interesting enough to leave it as is, but I'm usually gonna start working it all up. Yeah. It's like I was saying once to Karen, I think it was Karen that was talking about brushes, because let's have a look at the brush I was using before I went to that one that's got a point on it. As you can see, the tip's gone over. I mean, that's an ugly end to a brush, But as long as you know it's curving over that way, you can kind of use that to put. This is why I go back to Rich about saying about painting eyeballs. I think there's certain things you can, when you look back at, you think that changed the way I paint. Is if you can train yourself to paint an eyeball, you know where the end of your brush is. You know what I mean? That's. I did think about making. There's a video I've been on the list of videos to make. I think I'm gonna have to have a go at making some little short ones again, because there's a really important one about brush control I want to do. I can't really go over it without demoing stuff. I think with that, Rich, is when you're batch painting and you make a mistake, you compound the mistake by not fixing the mistake as you go along. So you think to yourself, I'll sort that out later. And when you've got to go back later, it takes you longer to sort it out if you find that mistake again. So, like we've seen tonight, when I've made a mistake, instantly I've got the water on there getting rid of the mistake. Yeah, I'm a bit dubious about using the word patience. I was talking to a guy this morning actually down the walking the dog, and he looked at my website and goes, "Oh, yeah, I've not painted any of those. I've made metal kits." And I said to him, "Oh, I ain't got the patience to make metal kits." And he said, "You're joking." I said, "No, I haven't. I really haven't. I get angry when I'm putting miniatures together to paint." So we're talking about, yeah. I've grabbed some antique gold for be quite interesting. Yeah, so people always say to you, don't they, when you paint, "Oh, you must have loads of patience to paint them." And I haven't. You've met me. I'm not incredibly patient at all. Um, what I think it is, I've got a overdriving urge to get the job finished. So I will sit there until it's done. I think that's what it is. I don't think it's patience. Let's give these eye grills some of this as well. So that's cool. Little touches like that. I usually highlight this with silver, don't I? Just highlight it with gold tonight. Seems very. This is with that tainted gold. Just lightly brushing, like we do with the silver. Which would be interesting to do with the gold. It's quite nice highlighting paint, that. Interesting. No, I think it's usually people that haven't tried. I think we're all sitting there nice and quietly trying to control this absolute utter rage that's going on inside us. Why won't you finish? Why can't I finish you? Let's put some blue tone. Yeah. Why have I still got dirty Romans to paint? Just a bit of blue tone on the blue. Surprised we're not just turned into a load of hulks while we're painting. Rah! Oh, it must be so relaxing. Do you paint to relax? No, I paint because I hate everybody. I hate everybody and everything apart from bacon. Yeah, that's I think where I think if I differ to people is I can do that. I can do that. Yeah. I mean that's the whole point of this channel is to help people to speed up. You know, there's different ways to paint, but sometimes you don't need to speed up. I mean, if you're painting these jugular miniatures and you need to paint 8 of them, how fast do you actually need to go? Right, if you're rushed to play the game, we've shown that just over about 4 hours, you can get something that's half decent. You know, with the extra hour, whatever you put on the thing. But do you really need to do that? Why not paint one every 4 hours? And say it's taken me 2 weeks to paint these 8 miniatures. Look how good they are. Rather than race, get stressed, and not enjoy the process. I don't know. It boils down to people's what they want to get out of it, isn't it? And sometimes things take as long as they take, don't they? Hence, that's what we've always said about speed paints, isn't it? You're selling that concept of it's going to make you faster. Yeah, but as long as your process is correct for what you're trying to achieve, you can't go wrong, can you? So if you're trying to do, I don't know, what's a really quick paint? So that's a bit deceptive in itself, isn't it? I said, what's a quick paint? So, for instance, Gripping Beasts, Dark Age, Archers. They don't really, as a miniature, come any simpler to paint than that. But you can paint them really, really fast, or you can paint them really, 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 really slowly and well. So it's kind of that how long the piece of string thing, isn't it? That's what you want. That's what I was trying to do with this channel is give you, show you my workflow or lack of it tonight, and help encourage you to paint some more Gripping Beast miniatures because they want to see you use them. So realistically, these are kind of getting to that stage where I'm going to say it. So tabletop ready. And they're not Games Workshop tabletop ready because they haven't had 3 colours on each one. So I'm just going to use some soft tone and the NAF brush again. Yeah, this one. I'll put some medium in my brush. A bit more medium. I'm just going to pop it on. Because remember, that's that ancient stone. Which is going to be our base white, as it were. I want gladiators to look a little bit mocky. And we know we can pick out, we're going to pick the peaks out anyway, so we can afford to lose some of the white. You can't do this obviously on a white horse or a big flat area of white cloak. It will look terrible. I like going around with this soft tone because you can just, oh, I need a little bit of shade there, or a little bit. It just tidies up that little bit of edge. Okay. Again, if it looks too much, put a bit of medium in it. And it'll run a bit more off the peak into the valley, which is where we want it anyway. And I've got to paint his sandals. Dang it. Oh, dang. I've just come up with an idea that I'll have to speak to Griffin Beast about. Mwahahaha. Let's see, it's dirtied off all our whites there, but that's fine because we're going to do a bit more work on them. Probably that'll be tomorrow morning, that because it's going to take a little while to dry. Where I've added the medium in it, it will take a little while to dry, so it isn't super duper hot tonight. It's 10 o'clock. So it's 2.5 hours, and we've got something that's most of the way there. Maybe an hour or so more. We have something that we're going to be happy with. We've got this guy's shield to do as well, so. I'm not going to do his feathery bits because we're going to put some green into them to match his shield. Let's see what we've got. That's our funky armor from earlier on, which I approve of. I like that. Again, a bit of funkiness going on in his armor. Okay. So tomorrow morning I'm going to highlight the flesh out and highlight the colours out basically. So these are our tabletop standard kind of, they're painted, let's get them on the table. Yeah, I was pleased with the armour. So tomorrow morning, because I finished the commission I'm on, I'll be able to dive straight on those and get them up on Facebook and X and Blue Sky. I think about a half hour mucking about earlier, we've got these much closer to being finished. But hey ho, no good crying over spilt milk. I'm still happy with the results we got for 2.5 hours work, really 2 hours work. I'm quite happy with that. Right, I'm going to go and leave you gents to your weekend. And thank you for joining me. I shall switch the computer on earlier next week, make sure everything is hunky-dory. And we'll do Familia set 3. And we shall see what happens with the funky armors on those. You've got the big guy in armor, the guy with the whip. There's another guy that looks like him. Yes, thanks for joining us, guys, and we'll speak again soon. And don't forget, if you've not subscribed and liked and all that sort of stuff, have a go at that. Find us on Pirate Rich Plays and all that as well. Thank you, guys, and good night. Ting, ting, ting.